But maybe while I'm here, let's head into our orc, shall we? Let's see how things are looking over on this side of life. Head over to our kobold friend, just so we get at least some of the cleave damage, if not directly attack them. That's fantastic. Okie dokie. And we have a couple of downstairs, so that I feel is better than we often find for ourselves. And paralysis hitting at a fortunate time there, at least in regards to all the enemies immediately kind of taking their foot off the gas and not causing us problems. This is Hell Orc, isn't it? At least the last time we saw this kind of layout with the black and red tiles, it was a gateway to hell. I think it's hell at least, not the abyss. I could be misremembering that, so maybe don't take me too much at my word. 12% chance of banishment? I mean, I'll probably take those odds. Even if we do get banished, it's not a complete end of the road for this character. I mean, in general, of course, it never really is, because sometimes, in fact, more often potentially than it should for our intents and purposes, you just get lucky enough to find an exit before things get too dire. I probably don't really want to fight this on the stairs. I could take a few friends down with me, though. Both downstairs and down as in mortar, but let's maybe not worry about duking it out quite yet. And in fact, with the hell and I was gonna say exit, then entrance, all of these are incorrect. With the hell, I guess, vault there at the end, potentially it might be in my best interest to just chill out for the time being. Let's not worry about it. Just take care of these kiddos, shall we? Doesn't work for you either, wizard. Wizard, sorry. The last version where it worked was 0.25, but the code for it still exists. Some change to map view must have broken it. Interesting. Now that I know that it at least did exist, I'll start to miss its presence. Because that does sound very handy. It definitely don't love always having to fully pan across the map just to take a quick peek at one individual thing, but that's fine. Oh, vampiric. Right, can't use vampiric. Which does put us into an interesting spot in regards to what I was mentioning earlier, where we enchanted the axe before branding it. Now if it ends up getting branded to vampiric, we're going to be in trouble. But +8 chainmail ponderousness. How much ponderousness do I want? I guess armor class doesn't actually go up by that much, surprisingly, so I probably will just use this willpower plate armor. Unchanged armor class, but a little bit of additional willpower for our trouble. Doesn't seem like too bad of a deal to me, for sure. I'm going to use this. Again, probably should have done at least a little bit of exploration to see whether the gauntlet entrance was right by us, but more than happy to play it safe and just try to ensure that we definitely make it there in time. Get some of that sweet Minotaur and Minotaur action for your viewing pleasure. Ooh, okay, did not expect to be coming across our vault's entrance. First and foremost, I probably should try to heal up. I mean, we have plenty of time. After using the magic mapping, it's not exactly a problem to make it here before it closes, but still can start to feel my panic set in just because of how much I love to at least be able to take a peek here and see what our gauntlet is doing for us here today. Okay, a pair of gloves. Enchanted gloves would be alright for sure. Ooh, an artifact battle axe. Low chances I swap into a battle axe at this stage, just because shields are a pretty big part of our continued existence, really. But okie dokie. Let's see, we get a single enchant armor, we get the enchanted gloves, and we can take a look at that battle axe. Or we get a ring, a potion that we haven't actually ID'd yet. Just not too sure what that has going for it. I guess enchanted plate armor is okay. At the end of it all, both avenues look fairly doable. In fact, this one actually looks a bit tougher. It's shorter. But Reaper, I feel like, could be a pain in the rear. With 51 damage, I think they can out DPS our healing. Which is definitely saying something. Going at 45. I mean, we could use Berserk here, probably. Just try and blitz our way through. Be tempted to Berserk against the Minotaur at the very end as well. And hey, Dr. Pirate, how's it going, friend? Always lovely to see you, of course. Welp. You know what? I think I will Berserk. I'll regret it if this goes horribly for us, but fortunately that's not the case. Ooh, and we get Gloves of Infusion. Okay. I mean, I don't really plan on using our magic. We do use it a little bit for healing. So that's the only downside. But a small part of our magic can maybe experiment here. See how it feels in this, what should be a relatively safe encounter, but a bunch of abominations should not be an issue for us. Okay, does just use like 1 point here or there. So of course in even a semi-protracted encounter, we're gonna use up all of our magic, but it's not horrible. Ring of Fire. I guess if we need to hot swap into resistance, it's nice to have, but otherwise not too necessary for us here. Well, I think I'll stick to the infusion for now. It'd be nice if I could get like some mana regen on something. At this point, I don't have an amulet in the first place, so wouldn't mind it there. Though obviously I'd probably prefer to have something like regen coming our way. You know what? I think I will might up against you, my friend. Just try to make sure that we have the firepower. Beautiful. And what are we looking at here? Oh, not a whole lot. Yikes. So not our greatest gauntlet here. Still always fun. Still like it as a bit of a fun little challenge. In fact, I could see this, the gauntlet, making a pretty sweet sprint map. Have it be like a series of gauntlets. So you're constantly choosing the path you take and what equipment you find, and just stack them one after another without, or maybe, I was going to say without the Minotaur at the end, but maybe have Minotaur as like a mini boss every once in a while, and then something big at the very end. Just spitballing ideas here, but it sounds like it'd be fun to me. I like gauntlets a lot for the puzzling itch that they tickle in my brain for sure. But in this case, I don't think we really want the rest of this. We'll use up another ID scroll here, Potions of Mutation. Fine, I guess, to have. I mean, good to have ID'd for the future for sure, but hopefully, if things go according to the usual plans here, we won't be needing that at any point too soon. I should also double check. What did I leave on the ground? Anything of value or importance? Talismans that I was lugging around but will likely never use. Probably can just say goodbye to those, as we say goodbye to our Hydra friend there as well. It's nice not having to worry about desperately finding either like a good mace or preferably a flame branded axe to deal with our Hydras, and instead we can just, for once, maybe actually be the good guy. You know, we always like to joke about, are we the baddies? And generally the answer to that is yes, because we're invading a dungeon and just murdering everything on sight without a care in the world. But a little less of a bad guy this time around, isn't that lovely? Also got quite lucky with all of our Bogart friends there. I was ready for that to cascade into just an absurd number of arrows raining down on us, but ooh, did not end up being the case. Look at that, an amulet of mana regen. So at least we'll be infusing left and right, and should be able to get at least enough MP to get back to healing ourselves in relatively short order. Kind of forgot that we got Divine Vigor, so increasing our health and magic points by percentages. Lovely as well. Can't complain there, and yikes. I was about to say this is likely to go real nasty. In fact, this probably would have been a time for some Divine Vigor. Instead, I'm gonna fear these sons of guns. Got a couple of them coming right back our direction, which is kind of the preferred state. In fact, maybe, well, Wand of Charming still has a small chance to do some good in this world. Or not, that's cool too. What do we wish to do with you? I mean, we're pretty far away from any great alleyways to conduct ourselves in this encounter. As long as we're fighting just a couple at a time, as soon as this boulder beetle jumps out, I think I'll actually be in a small amount of trouble, because these sons of guns are a bit more intelligent about how they encounter us. Okay, we cannot out-heal these. What am I doing with my life? Well, blink it is. Can you open doors? I don't think you... Never mind. Ignore me. You can, in fact, open doors. Didn't realize you had high-fidelity appendages on those tentacles of yours, friends. Yikes, and now they're wandering somewhere around the level, consisting of an indeterminate elemental property as well. Hopefully, they've split paths with each other. If we can do this one by one, then it doesn't really matter what element they go. I guess we could have used Ring of Fire here. It burns. Oh, no. Unfortunately, didn't last very long that they actually stayed in that flavor. Well, can Curari one of you, slow you down a bit. Then, I guess, just pacify you. Fantastic. Maybe not the most necessary of avenues to take there, but it'll pretty much work out. I should check in on all of our skills. Okay, we're back to just fighting in info, so maybe this is where I want to train just a wee bit of throwing, so we have some capacity to deal with enemies before they're directly on top of us. So that's definitely been a trend that I've been seeing so far. Is that it would be very helpful to have something along that effect, so we'll see how this goes. As long as we're able to save, or rather stay alive long enough to get a few skill points there, we should be able to fling these boomerangs left, right, and center. I mean, we do have a decent number of... Sorry, I'm just going to pacify this Hydra, I think. A decent number of javelins is what I was going for. And that's a great point, Wizard. I probably shouldn't be wearing my Ring of Fire. I mean, there, worked out fighting the Pyromancer, but I'm very likely and liable to get myself killed off in less than spectacular fashion by accidentally leaving that son of a gun on for too long. Beautiful. Oh, and back to the ugly things. So, I think Heal Other doesn't actually use too much piety, so I'm tempted to just put a couple of those, and in fact, yeah, they try and walk to the stairs, and so we do manage to get some good fighting in, just making sure we're not lethal. 36 damage on the cold, means that I can probably heal up again. Fantastic. Oh me, oh my. Eventually the heal is going to fall off to the point where we can no longer be quite so flagrant with our risk taking, but for the moment here, still working out for us, and hopefully by the time we get there we have better defenses than we're currently looking at the moment. Okie dokie, time to... I was gonna say finish off the floor, but you know what, I'll come back later. Nice to see you, Rupert. Before I forget, let's just drop an exclusion there to at least give us some small reminder as to what we're facing down that a ways. And then what do we want to do now? Head back up to the S branches is likely the path forward. Otherwise, I'm looking at that orc, because I definitely backed out before really taking a peek into whether that end vault is even going to be a problem. For all I know, it's going to be straightforward, wonderful, beautiful, and never a care in the world. Sunshine, rainbows, all that good stuff. I think the heal scale is decently with info. Yeah, I think I was looking up the numbers. Regardless, the minimum, I think the max minimum value is like 19, which isn't great, but the scale there at max info is like 19 to 52 health or something like that. Again, don't quote me on it because I did not memorize those numbers whatsoever, but definitely a decent chunk of HP. Again, especially as long as we can get our defenses to a good point, we can probably out-heal the majority of damage that will be coming our way. At least looking forward to that potentially being the case, but for the moment here, I might check out this orc. Kind of want to stay out near the edge so that we're not, you know, causing enough of a commotion that will be in a constant fight for our very lives. I should also be double checking egos when enemies come in. That glaive could have been distortion, and oh boy, we would have been in for a fun little surprise. Fortunately, I was gonna say did not seem to be the case, but no, more accurately, it just was not the case. Classic condition of me just using uncertain language in order to couch things. I think a big part of it is my weird obsession with trying not to lie, even to the detriment of standard conversation. You know, the convenient lies that we all use just generally when we talk. But alas, here we are. Ooh, a reflection branded amulet. I mean, I am a huge fan of reflection for sure. Always a lot of fun. It's not great as an artifact. I mean, nothing here is really a game changer. I don't believe I'm willing to use the harm scales. As much as I would love to stack regen effects until the end of time itself, I don't think I'm super happy with that as an option for us here. Let's mark that. I will just buy all the ID scrolls. Let's just get a few more of these effects out of the way. Scrolls of butterflies. Big fan of for defensiveness here. So happy that they added the like gust effect to that, because it definitely makes it a much more useful scroll, if not borderline too useful. But regardless, love to see it. Let's pop around this corner and let High Priest come to me. Fantastic. And rinse and repeat. In fact, spamming tab a little bit more than I probably should there. I think we're still okay, so just gonna finish that off. And keep dodging around, make you step to me, friend. -8 corrosion is not great. We're able to take care of the knight at the very least, and we can wait that off before continuing onwards for honor and glory. Bit of Barbara action. It's fine. And hopefully that's pretty much the worst that Orc brings to bear. Summoned mutators, never a lot of fun. I'm guessing if I pacify a summoner, it's actually a bad idea. I thought of this earlier when we had that Kobold Demonologist, because I'm pretty sure their summons will stay around and stay hostile. I could be wrong with that. But that is definitely the concern that I have, I guess. The risk of getting too much mutation coming our way, I'm going to take a couple steps back. In fact, I might just teleport out of here. Let's reset that. And see how things are looking on this side. Hello, friends. I did not expect there to be a whole new party down this way. Uses up more PD than I'd probably like, but let's try Divine Vigor. Brings us up to 158 HP. That is not too shabby whatsoever here. And then we somehow take basically no damage. I mean, we do have... I was going to say we do have 2 regen sources, but we actually just have the one, because the other was on that acquirement armor that we decided against using. Definitely felt like we had double regen there. Just kept coming. But here we go. This is the corner where we actually want to fight all these summoners, make them come to us, and have to pop around. Is much, much better. Oof. Don't love this. Well, let's start healing self early. Unfortunately, don't know if there's a lot we can do here if these kiddos aren't going to come my way. 50% chance to pacify you. Oh, and then I have to get out of the way. So otherwise, they will still try to fight us. Okay, no, decided to go the other direction. Appreciate that, friend. And now, for real, that should basically be the end. Okay, a couple more baddies to throw into the mix. A few more shops. The Manual of Axes, again, if we really decide to go with like a big axe, there's some use to that. I guess not even this, it would almost have to be an Executioner's Axe, because I think that one's min delay is like 26 or, you know, something absurd like that. We also do have throwing at a decent level, so I want to swap my quiver over to boomerangs, and let's start using that a little bit more predominantly, shall we? Still have our poison resistance on. I think we will just take the amulet here, so let's make that swap now. I like the idea of the magic regen amulet and how that kind of synergizes with both the infusion and the low cost heals. But I think it will be very lovely to have some reflection against all of the mark snakes in here. Plus a bit of additional shielding. Never hurts either. Fantastic. So let's just run for the hills, shall we? Definitely use IDs as they come in as well. I guess we don't have lightning resistance, so do want to be cognizant of that. If we do come across any shock serpents, they could give us a run for our money. Oh, Dragon Blood Talisman. Oh, game, you know how I do love me some dragon mode. But we'll probably be leaving that for the moment here. We don't have any fire resistance for you, my friend. Not a problem against a single salamander, but definitely once they start bringing in higher numbers, we may start desperately wishing for some counteraction there. I definitely want the Scroll of Fear as well, so let's pick up that bad boy. And that is lovely. In fact, 2 Scrolls of Fear. Didn't realize it was my birthday. Appreciate it, game. And it just continues. I guess now is probably an okay time, I guess, to drop the degeneration potions that I've been lugging around since basically the start of the run. Perfect. And not too bad. Pacify does get rid of summons. Ooh. That is good to know. I appreciate that, wizard. Thanks. Okay, so maybe it was slightly more viable, kind of in both of those aforementioned conditions, but fortunately it all worked out without having to worry too much on our end. Tower Shield of Cold Resistance. That's pretty lovely in its own right. Love like a Tower Shield of Reflection, and then I could guilt-free changed back from our current setup here, but that's fine. And let's see, about 50% to pacify any of our Naga pals. Unfortunately, wasn't going our way, but there we go, much better. And this is where we could just leave, or I guess we could have just left if I was worried about things. Is the one thing that makes Snake probably contender now on my side for easiest S branch. It still is terrifying, don't get me wrong. Guardian Serpents and their proclivity for ruining an otherwise solid run, still very much in play, very much a factor that we may have to deal with. But I think being able to walk away from the majority of encounters means that Snake is still far preferable on my end to a lot of the other branches. Especially Spider is kind of my least favorite now. Shoals is still kind of same level of difficulty, which, you know, is nothing to sneeze at as well. Don't get it twisted there, but generally not the end of the world. And hello, Guardian Serpent. Hello, Asterion as well. Well, that's what I was slightly concerned about. I mean, the Balrog will follow me till the ends of the earth. They'll steal too much fire damage. In fact, I am in trouble right now. So let's start thinking things through slightly more than we otherwise might. A Fierce Scroll is not going to do anything against our demonic friends here. Could use a Blinking. Just to play it on the safe side, we at least get out of range of this Son of Gun besides the Smiting. Again, I would like to save those for the future, but more than happy to play it safe. We'll also do some heal wounds actions, pop around this corner, and probably should just read a teleport scroll. Get me out, coach. Okay, so Asterion is hanging out around here somewhere. I'm curious, ooh, we actually should have checked at the moment there what our odds of pacifying Asterion were. Because that potentially has drastic impacts on our general game plan. 14% chance to pacify. Not great, for sure. So, if we wish to fight you, my friend, I guess we could Divine Vigor, get ourselves a nice little boost to HP. On top of that, we could use another Might Potion. I've been trying to be a little more liberal with my usage of Might Potions, because I feel like that's one that I always kind of hold on to. Is the Resistance Potion worth it? But I generally hold on to them until the very end of the run. Don't really get full use out. So this is me trying to change it up slightly. Yikes. Okay, that was way more damage than I was expecting to come through. That's a problem. No more blinking. I do have butterflies. The Fire Plus is hurting us, right? Especially the Fire Plus Plus. We're just burning up here. I was debating earlier chugging down the Resistance Potion. It might have been a good idea, especially since, I guess, with like greater, or major destruction rather, probably would have been a good idea to just have kind of resistances across the board. Well, Butterfly. Yeah, that fire. It's burning something fierce. Holy. Well, I don't even know really what I want to do. Oh, okay, the heal does not do the trick. Evie protected us from harm there, so we got very lucky. I'm probably just dead to the fire. Holy. So resistance, I don't think is really an option. This might be the end for Holy Cow. Oh, me oh my. What do we do? Just try and out-heal it? Doesn't really work long-term. As long as Asterion doesn't major destruction me, then there's a chance that I at least heal a little bit. No, that fire is dealing a lot of damage. Oh, well, I hate this, because we're kind of, I feel like, just stuck in the moment here. I don't believe there's much I can do except get lucky. In fact, yeah, I was trying to think one way we could try to get lucky is with a 14% pacify. But I think I still just die to the fire. No? So, alternatively, do I just keep healing self? Okay, we did get a turn. Got a single turn here. Okie dokie. That honestly makes things a bit harder. I was almost resigned to my fate. Now hope is starting to creep back in. If it's albeit a small hope. I'm gonna heal again. Oh my gosh, fire's gone. Okay, I'm healing. We're burning piety like none other, but for a good cause. Okay. What actually hit so hard there? Iron shot, looks like. So I got too greedy with the heals. Probably should have tried to strike out and actually deal some damage to this son of a gun. I guess could try to get rid of your haste. 100% chance to work. That's friendly though. If I Quicksilver this way, I feel like Evie might get mad at me. Well, before we make any calls, I wanted to double check. Pretty sure Asterion... Oh, I thought you wouldn't care about fear. Oh, 47%? That's actually okay. Asterion resisted. Shoot. But we somehow, again, miraculously survive. Do I just try again? The Kalka Demon won't be scared. And their Bolt of Devastation is a problem. I mean, this whole thing is just a comedy of errors, really. I think it might be Quicksilver and hope that I survive the fallout. Let's see how much damage you're doing. 64, so probably won't kill Asterion, but it will get rid of the haste. Hit at 50 is a lot, for sure. Especially with the Spectral Weapon. Also, paying their own dues our way. Oof, ay. I'm probably just gonna fear again. I don't know if it's the right choice. Let's see. Asterion did resist again. Shoot. And that brings us down. Definitely didn't handle this fight very well. In fact, probably should have gone rid of the haste nice and early. Gone resistances nice and early. And then likely would have been golden if we even fight Asterion here in the first place. Maybe we should have just walked away from the fight for the time being. But hey, it is what it is, I guess. At the end of the day here, it does leave us at a slightly awkward amount of time in the stream overall here. I want to maybe start into another run. I guess before we get into that, we should give a proper sign off to our buddy here. Holy cow, you did great out there. Unfortunately, even your decent luck and survivability weren't enough to defend you from the greatest danger of them all, being piloted by me. But hey,